All right, here's another little project, setting up DHCP DNS and DHCP helper on the router. So again, let's kind of look at how this is set up. Now we broke this lab down into 3 parts. Now we've kind of made it more of a real network. It is a slow process. So we've got our 3 servers in its own VLAN or its own network. We're not doing VLANs yet, but we will be doing that soon. So we have it separated by a router. And then we have our workstations and our internet. Basically, we're using similar IPs, just the only thing I've added Class C down here for this portion. All right, again, let's look at the mask. It's 255.255 because it has a 16-bit mask. Okay, there we go. Makes life easy. Let's just, again, populate that in there. So we are going to need to add, and this one's also Class C, so these I forgot. These we need to do 255. There we go. See, I'm already making mistakes. All right, there we go. We'll leave that one blank. These are also 24-bit mask. So let's go ahead and put those in there. All right. There we go. So let's go ahead and, so we have 16 million or 65,000 addresses in a Class B. So let's try this. Let's do this. So let's go ahead and set up the last number for the router. And then we will go ahead and let me double check which interface the router is. So that's the, okay, we're at 00. All right, so we're gonna add one more line and we're gonna add router 0. So then that interface is gonna be here. So we're gonna use the last IP. So this way, make life easier for us, 255.254. All right, bang. Let's move that out like that. All right, so we could just, when we're looking at setting up our addresses, we can just go ahead and do 1.1, 172.1.2. So, I mean, because we have a large pool of addresses, we could just, make, when we're doing our IP, thing for our servers, so we can group them together so we know anything that's 172.1 is DNS, and then anything like 172.2 dot something would be for DHCP. So we can kind of group our services together by doing that. So there we go. So then again, we can take our DNS number, paste it here. Again. And then our DNS2. In the future videos, I'll have a DNS server in the outside too, but at this point, I don't have one. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. So then this should be 1. And yep, 1. All right, so we're using 192.168.254.4.0. Oh, that's one too many. Oh, there is no 0. It's just .254.0. Okay, going blind. All right, so we can go ahead and use the first address here, which is fine. Then we're just going to say these are going to be DHCP'd. DHCP'd. Okay. And then again, we could just use the IP addresses here. So let's make our lives easier. We'll make the router last. So that'll be 172.15.15.254. And then we can say 172.15.15.1, 172.15.15.2. There we go. So now we can get them all sequential. Is there a right or wrong answer to it? No, we could have made all of them the last or all of them the first. You know, whatever makes our lives, in theory, easier. All right, so there we go. So we have our IP addresses for our routers, and we've got our IP address for the DCP. So let's go ahead and knock this out. And then again, our default gateway will be for this guy. And this guy. And then this guy. And let's go ahead. Again, remember, your router's interface is going to be your default gateway for your host devices. This makes our lives easier to acknowledge and see all this. And let's go ahead and hit Y here. And then if we want to go ahead and add these names, so we can just, again, when we make our A records, we know what they're going to be. And again, I've added one too many machines to this picture, so we'll just take that one out. And there we go. So now we have our DNS records and our IPs. All right, so let's go ahead and fly through this. So we're going to go through our desktop. We're going to click on IP configure. Again, we are going to do 172.16.1.1. So let me copy this so I can make my life easier typing. Again, we're going to go with the default. And there we go. So we're going to go with 255.254. And then this is going to be .1. There we go. And I just like to get everything manually addressed first, and then we'll add the records and all that stuff afterwards. Okay. 255.254. We're going to make this 2 again because it's its own DNS. Now the DHCP, so we're going to go to desk, and we're going to go with .2, .1, with 255.254, and .1. Okay. Now we're going to go to our services under DHCP. We're going to click enabled, and we're going to change this because we are not going to give out the server address DHCP. I guess we could have it, if we want to set up DHCP. Let's just do it anyways, I guess. Sure. So we can go in here and say 55.254, and we'll go with the first DNS. And then here, we would just say, hey, we're going to go with .3. Just so it's out of our main range. There we go. So now we can make an HR one. And they are 192.168.254. Oh no, it's 255. Not 254. Okay. We can leave the DNS in there, and then we can do 192, and then tab 168, tab 255. We can go with 1 with updated, and then we're going to do 100, and then we're going to click add. So now we have 2 pools, and then we're going to hit save, hit our service, and there we go. So now that we have those going, we're good. Let's go ahead and jump over here, and then we'll go into the router and get everything else set up. So here we're going to go with 172.15.15.1. Again, we are going to make this in the 255. And then we are going to do 172.15.15.254. And then again, we're going to use the internal DNS. So that's going to be 172.16.1.1. Okay. And that should have been a 3. Is this W3? I didn't click on in order, so let me click in order so it makes my insanity better. 172.15.15.1 with a 24-bit mask. Again, 172.15.15.254 and 172.16.1.1. Okay. So let's get this W2, 116, 115, 115. This is .2, 255. There we go. 172.15.15.254. And finally, the DNS, which is 172.16.1.1. Okay. And let's get 4, because I already got 3 done. So we give you 172.15.15.4 with a 24-bit mask. Again, its default gateway is to be 172.15.15.254, 172.16.1.1. All right. All right, so now on to the router. So here's the config for the router. Again, we're going to type enable config terminal. Here we're going to do our interface. We're going to add description, no shut to bring the interface up. We're going to put in the IP address, and we're going to use this additional command called IP helper. So remember, when PCs looking for DHCP addresses, they do a broadcast, and routers do not pass broadcast, so we got to add this functionality called IP helper. So we use the IP helper, And then we're going to put the IP address of our DHCP, which should be 172.16.2.1. So we're not doing DHCP on the other interfaces, or on this network or this network. Well, we are going to do it on this network, but it's the DHCP servers on the same network, so it doesn't matter. And here, this network, where everything is static, because we're presuming this is the internet. Okay. Now, let's get started. We're going to go here to CLI. Again, it may ask you if you want to do initial config. Just say no, then hit enter, and then again we're going to type enable. There we go. Then we're going to type in interface, or we're going to type in config t. Sorry, one step ahead of myself. Interface G. I'm going to do 0 since I got it written here on my notes like this. So I'm going to go ahead and do description. And then I'm going to say the inside HR. Let's add a little more better descriptives. IP address. So now we're IP addressing the interface. Again, we're going to use 192.168.254.254. So remember, you have to use your address. So let's see. Yeah. I made that 1. My mistake. So 1 space 255.255.mask.0, and then we're just going to type in IP helper, and then we're going to put in the IP address of the DHCP server, and now we're going to do no shut to bring the interface up. Awesome. And now we're going to go into interface. 0 or G/02, and then we're just going to up arrow, and this is going to be our outside. Then I'm just up arrowing again to fix the IP address. So we're doing 15.15.254 with the same mask. And then we're just going to do up arrow, no shut. There we go. We brought the interface up. And now I'm going to do 00. So again, we're just going to say server farm, just so we have some type of description. And then we're going to put in the IP address. 16.255.254. Yep. And then enter. And enter, and then no shut. All right. So we did everything correctly. Let's see if we change it to dynamic to DHCP. Ooh, I did not do something right. So let's do a little troubleshooting and see what's cooking. So let's check the DHCP server. Let's make sure that it is on. It is on. Okay, it's got the IP addresses. Let's make sure I have the right default gateway address. 172. Okay. Looks okay. So let's try some quick basic troubleshooting here real quick. So let's go ahead and do a ping 172.16.2.1. 16.255.254, and let's see if we can get a ping out of that at least. All right, so let's check our interface again. So it's 00. Okay, so here I'm going to show you a new trick. Type in end, hit enter, then you can do show run. Okay, so here we have 172.16.255.254. Oh, I got the wrong mask on there. See? Let's go ahead and fix that real quick. So again, we're going to do config T and go to interface G/0. And then we're going to do IP address 172.16.255.254 with a 16-bit mask this time. There we go. Let's see if I made any other silly mistakes. And oh, yes, this guy is wrong. And our DHCP, yeah, it's the right address. Let's fix this address. So again, we're going to go 1, the mask, and then that should be yeah, I totally messed that one up. 192.168.255.254. So again, we're going to type in end and do show run. And let's just make sure I didn't make any more silly mistakes. All right, that looks pretty good. So let's try this again. So the 196 address just means is the DHCP server. Oh, look, there we go. We got the right address. Bam. So that's what happens. You have to double check your configuration numbers, because if you don't, you're going to run into problems. There we go. 2. 3. And look at that. They all have the right 192 address. So let's try this real quick. Let's throw a PC into this since we set up another DHCP. And now we gotta wait for the interface to turn green so the switch learns the device. And then we'll go to desktop. So because if we did DHCP right now, it would not get an IP address because the switch is not ready. So that's the one thing about Packet Tracer. It simulates real life, and this is real life. You do gotta wait a few moments for it to finish negotiating. So there we go. And look at that, we got a 172 address. Perfect. So there we go. So we've done everything correctly. See, you can see that it gave the right address for the right network and where the other one didn't. All right, so I'm just going to break here just to make this video into two parts, and I'll make this one setting up the DHCP and then creating the DNS records in the next video. All right, see you guys there.